How's it howlin', everyone? My name is Vin Wolf, and today I'm going to keep it simple and clean. I'm going to talk about a franchise that is dearly beloved, the main character of which is so full of passion, and just in general, the world created in this game has become a sort of a sanctuary for so many gamers out there. A lot of people want Sora from Kingdom Hearts in for Smash, and when I heard this, I thought there was absolutely no way. If we're getting another Square Enix rep, it's gonna be Geno, maybe Chrono. Chrono's owned by Square Enix, right? Hey, is Chrono owned by Square Enix now? Bottom line, people want Sora. I'm talking about it. Let's get into it. After it was revealed in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS that we were going to be getting Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII as a DLC character, there was a huge outcry saying, we need to get Sora from Kingdom Hearts. There's also the fact that Sora is the main character of a franchise that did the most ambitious crossover event before Marvel's Infinity War movie came to theaters. Disney crossed over with Final Fantasy characters. What could go wrong? Apparently nothing, given the critical acclaim that this game series has received over the years. Now, as far as Sora's odds of getting into Super Smash Bros., you'd actually be surprised with how much he's really got going for him. Over the years, Sora's become a huge icon in the gaming world. You'd be hard-pressed to find a gamer worth his salt who didn't know about this franchise. Or her salt, either or. And of course, there's also the fact that Kingdom Hearts has had a nice number of its titles come out on Nintendo handhelds before. You had Chain of Memories coming out on the Game Boy Advance, 358 over 2 days and Recoded were both released on the DS, and then Dream Drop Distance came out on the 3DS later on. That's 4 games right there. That's about half the franchise that has come out on consoles in America. That's actually more games on the Nintendo console than one of the home consoles that Sony has put out. Birth by Sleep, which is timeline-wise the first game in the series, came out on the PlayStation Portable first. Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 were on the home console. Later you started to see ports, especially with the HD remixes, but still, they were on Nintendo handhelds first. As a lot of the Sora fanboys and girls also like to point out, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to be released just a month after Smash Bros. Comes out. It'd be a great opportunity for advertising, especially if they decide to put Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Switch. Although with the history of video games coming over to the Switch, it's much more likely to be a very delayed port. Right, From Software? As far as a moveset for Sora, you've got nothing to worry about. With all his magic and special attacks, the moveset makes itself. Keyblade strikes for jabs, tilts, aerial attacks, throws, yada yada yada. Various magic attacks for smashes just to incorporate those. Thunder for the down smash, Blizzard for a side, fire, or maybe even gravity for an up smash. And if Sakurai was looking for a character to give himself some options, oh boy, he couldn't pick anyone better. Just looking at the specials alone, there is a freaking list for each and every direction. If you start off with just the standard B, well, you can use Sora's 1/KO, the Zentatsuken. You can charge it up to perform Ragnarok. For a side B, you've got no less than 4 different options for this one. You can use Sora's Sonic Blade attack, his Blitz, Ars Arcanum, or Strike Raid. In my own opinion, I think Strike Raid would be the move that fits the best here. It's basically, he just throws his Keyblade out and it returns like a boomerang. Although unlike any of the Lynx's boomerangs, I'm pretty sure that Strike Raid would have a lot more in terms of knockback. For the down B, I see 3 options that could work here. Counter, Stun Impact, and Ripple Drive. Ripple Drive is just sort of a give me space kind of a move. If you're surrounded by enemies, then it'll knock them all away from you so you get some breathing room. However, I think my favorite idea for the down B would be a combination of counter and stun impact. We have plenty of counter moves already that will counter damage and will even knock opponents back, but we don't really have a counter move that will not only counter an attack, but also paralyze an opponent. I think that can make for some really fun, really interesting gameplay. Even for Sora's up B recovery, you have 3 potential moves that could fill this slot very well. Of course, you have the Slap Shot, the Aerial Sweep, obviously, you can tell it's in the name, and then, my personal choice, Hurricane Blast. The The reason why I would pick Hurricane Blast is, well, because of how it works. Basically, Sora kind of floats through the air while spinning in a circle. Now, he doesn't spin around like you see Link do, but he spins vertically. So imagine taking Link's move, flipping it on its side, and using that to climb through the air. And, well, yeah, that's the Hurricane Blast. I even think they could take this move a step further by, if you hit an enemy while in the air, you actually bounce off of them and get some extra distance. I think it would be a really fun move to incorporate. Finally, we have, of course, the final smash. And there's, of course, more options for this one, but I'm only going to highlight one that I think would work the best. I think the best final smash that we could give Sora is the most difficult one to use in his entire game series. Sora's anti-form. Bring out the anti-form to perform a flurry of attacks on any enemies that he swipes with his claws to start off. And, oh boy, you've got a fun move. When it comes to constructing a moveset for Sora, really there are so many other potential moves. I only cover what I thought were his, special attacks in game, but really, you can take magic attacks, you can take form moves, you can take just about anything and put them in there. But I've spent enough time on the moveset, let's move on. Of course, the second most important thing in the game, costumes. These wouldn't be a problem. They could use the different drive forms that Sora can use as different costumes for when he goes into a fight. Assuming, of course, they don't want to use the drive forms for a final smash. Finally, and maybe this is just a personal thing, but I could see Square Enix being a lot more willing to get Sora into Super Smash Bros. Than Geno. Now, real quick, before you do anything or say anything in the comments that we'll all regret later, allow me to explain. What do I mean by that? I mean that Sora is a relevant character. Geno isn't. Look at how they released Cloud as a fighter as an example here. Cloud Strife was announced to be a newcomer in Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U and 3DS in November of 2015. Why is this significant? Because during the PlayStation experience in 2015, they announced the Final Fantasy VII Remake. On PlayStation's official YouTube, the first trailer was posted December 5th, 2015. Just a month after Cloud was announced and a couple days before he was actually put into the game. Well, a week and some change later, but you know, you get it. Getting Sora in would pretty much be free advertising to the entire Nintendo community. That's not an opportunity you pass up lightly. And yeah, while Geno is a fan favorite and Sakurai's tried to get him in the past 2 games, they could just as easily say, no, we don't want this Geno character in, we want Sora. It makes better business sense. Or since everyone knows how much Sakurai wants to put Geno in Smash, I mean, it is not a secret, he has not been subtle at all. They could even say, fine, you can have Geno, but only if you include Sora too. If Square did that, I think Sakurai would most likely accept. Also, while researching, I found an interview that details the rules Sakurai uses in determining third-party characters. Now, there's a lot of quotes and details to get into it, so I'm just going to simplify it into 2 key rules. The first rule is that the character's parent company must be comfortable with Sakurai making alterations to the character in order to make him fit into the Smash universe. Rule number 2, the character must carry history as a video game character. The more influential, the better the odds. Look at Bayonetta as the perfect example of this. Her game came out all the way back in 2009, and yet still, Nintendo saw fit to put her into the series. Now, granted, her first game did debut on the Wii U, but still, like I mentioned before, Sora has had 4 games on Nintendo consoles. The very first Kingdom Hearts game was released in 2002. Chain of Memories was released just 2 years later on the Nintendo Game Boy Advance in the year 2004. In fact, in 2009, the same year that Bayonetta came out in, we see 358 Over 2 Days was released in May. Bayonetta came out in October. So we have a series with 2 installments on Nintendo consoles before Bayonetta even hit the scene. If they're willing to put Bayonetta in after she's only been with them for, what, is it close to 10 years now? Actually, wow, that is a long time. Sora's been with them since 2004. That's almost 5 years longer than Bayonetta has even been around. And of course, the final note to make for things going in Sora's favor is the ballot. Honestly, from what I can tell, there was so much pull for Sora back in 2015 during the ballot period. Tweets, articles, web pages, full-on petitions trying to get Sora into Super Smash Bros. I barely had to lift a finger in order to find sources to say, hey, we want Sora in Super Smash Bros. It was everywhere. Which, based on what we've seen from the likes of King K. Rool and Ridley getting in, is going to be a huge help if Sora's trying to get into Super Smash Bros. Now, having said all of that, all good things must come to an end, I'm afraid, because now we've got to talk about the obvious, the things working against Sora. And everyone knows it. I probably don't have to say it, but I'm going to anyway. Any Kingdom Hearts properties is the biggest licensing nightmare in any kind of media. Here's the thing. Sora is jointly owned by Square Enix and Disney. I know a lot of people are saying that Disney owns the right, but based on what I could tell, Sora is a jointly owned character. And we know that Dingy is rather stingy with its properties. No matter what Square Enix may want to do, they still need the consent of Disney as well before doing anything with the character. Guys, we were very, very wrong. First of all, there were 3 key points that I had when it came to the Disney argument. First of all, Disney prevented Kingdom Hearts from joining the Final Fantasy brawler Dissidia. 2, we all know how stingy Disney can be with its IPs. Now, granted they have reason for that, but still. 3rd and finally, Disney would never allow their characters in a fighting game like this. Well, that last one wasn't really so much me as it was people on the internet saying, but whatever, we'll roll with it. Okay, let's cover that first one. Disney preventing Kingdom Hearts from joining the Final Fantasy brawler Dissidia. Not true. It's actually 100% incorrect. Here's the thing. That decision wasn't made by anyone from Disney. It was made by Tetsuya Nomura, who thought it wasn't a good idea. Kingdom Hearts may be half Final Fantasy, but it's still its own IP. It's a separate franchise. And for that reason, among other things, Nomura decided it would be better for Dissidia to focus on the Final Fantasy characters. Well, yeah, but we've also seen Square be able to use Kingdom Hearts in other games. There's also the fact that Disney and Nintendo have been pretty buddy-buddy for a while now. You had Bowser in freaking Wreck-It Ralph. Splatoon, upon release, was covered by Joey Bragg and Kelly Berglund, who I have no idea who they really are, but apparently there's some pretty big actors in Disney. And then Dylan and Cole Sprouse from, as you all probably know, The Sweet Life, in character no less, were advertising for Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. As far as the Splatoon and the Pokemon commercials go, I've actually got links down in the description. You can check those out when you get the chance. The important thing to note here, though, is when these things came out. The Disney Twins commercial came out in 2011. Wreck-It Ralph, 2012. The most significant date, though, was the Splatoon video, posted on YouTube by Nintendo on May 29th, 2015. If Sora was ever going to have a shot at Super Smash Bros., that would have been the perfect time. Talk about striking when the iron's hot. Final argument that I see most commonly is that Disney would never allow their characters in a fighting game like this. You mean like Mickey in that Paint game for the Wii that was dark and gritty that everyone seemed to enjoy, but I never got the chance to play? Besides, it's Super Smash Brothers. It's not like we're talking about Mortal Kombat here. Smash is a bit on the toony side as far as fighting games go. Originally, when I was putting this video together, I thought Sora had maybe a 10% chance, if I wanted to be generous. But after finding all these things, I feel like he clearly has a way better chance than anyone ever gave him credit for. Holy crap, did I just convince myself that Sora could get into Smash? Maybe. I originally had him at 10%, but looking at all this, I think his chances are way better than that. In fact, everything seems to point in his favor. I don't know, maybe I'm taking a huge risk when I say this, but I think Sora has a 70% chance. Everything seems to be lining up in his favor. There's a great relationship not only between Nintendo and Square Enix, but Nintendo and Disney. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe that he's actually got a chance. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm kind of meh when it comes to Sora in Smash. I think it would be awesome, but I wouldn't be, that upset if it didn't happen. But now, I don't know. I honestly just don't know. Thank you all for watching. I don't know what I feel right now, to be honest. Like, that feels like such a mind blow. And, well, guess we'll have to wait and see. I will say, if Sakurai wanted to wait for, like, a big surprise reveal, Sora would be a great way to do it. There's a lot of speculation. There's a lot lining up for the character to actually be in it, a lot more than people realize. Oh, it would blow everyone away. So, anyway, I will see you all in the next video, but until then, everyone, stay blessed.